Welcome back to Cellar Rat TV with your host, the Cellar Rat, Addison Rex. So we got part 2 of the barrel repair series. So enjoy Francis Durand and his expert technique.
Was too much makeup to begin with.
Yeah. So you put water inside your barrel before you use it, because first there is always a little bit of sawdust inside, or so like that you have a better cleanup, and the wood is going to expand and ready to receive the wine.
What's happening after you do the treatment with the hot water? We use the steam to soak the barrels, and the barrel is still leaking. Like we have a barrel that a client bought for 2005 and was empty and in storage on a very bad condition. And
yeah, sometimes by just putting water inside, it's not enough. You need to help a little bit the barrel. So
turn up the hooks.
You push down the hook, you tie it, and you don't put too much water inside at the first time. You put the barrel upright on the floor, and you put 2 gallons of water inside. That's it. Like that, you are going to seal up the head, and the water is going to start to pack capillarity, get inside the wood. That for half a day or a day, and you flip it the other end, do the same thing, and after roll it a little bit. If you fill up a dry barrel, first it's going to be very hard to fill up the dry barrel because it's going to leak everywhere, and there is, with the weight of the water, there is too much water, too much pressure, the water goes away, that's it. So just a little bit of water.
We also been putting water on top of the heads when we
yes,
in the bath,
yes. But it doesn't need a lot of water at the beginning. Just takes time. So it's a slow process. And try to tie the hoop. That way we are making the barrel that shape, conical. You have just to push down the hoop and you tie the whole thing.
You don't have to push too much now, because sometimes they use a splitter. If you put pressure and then they soak up, they just get swallowed in.
Yeah.
I've seen them. The hoops just split.
Yeah.
You have hoop break? Hoops break?
Yeah.
Really?
When it starts getting swallowed.
When the wood expands, there is no thing to stop it. If the hoop or the rivet are not strong enough. I've never had a hoop.
Well, these ones. Sometimes if that happens, this one is the way, and it's not strong enough, it's falling out. But no, those.
Sometimes because it's a bad rivet.
What do you think about steaming the barrels? How will it affect the life of the barrel? Doesn't?
No.
And
as long as you don't put too much pressure. That's if you put too much pressure and you start to degrade the wood inside, it starts to chips away. That's not good. But the steam,
the steam isn't pressurized.
No.
Well, you just put the bung and let it vacuum, and then it's gonna.
Yeah.
Jet.
Do you think when we clean it with ozone, the ozone get in the wood and then it stay there, or just will be in the surface? Doesn't go deep. Just stay there.
Yeah.
It's pretty unstable, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
but like I said, we use proxy, and that can stay.
Yeah, definitely.
That's the kind of stuff you should know better than me, because it's something we never use. We are working only with new wood, new barrels. So there is a lot of thing you have to do on your used barrel, and most of the time you know better than us because you practice.
What amazed me is how much weight can you put in those barrels. We stack 6 high, and sometimes some of the barrels that are leaking in the bottom, if you change them to the top, they stop. But it's amazing how much weight can you put on top of those 2 barrels just in the hoops.
Well, 6 high, it's very common. Yeah. But make sure, yeah, the bottom one are in good shape.
Yes.
And the hoop are tight enough. Because if it's not tight enough, the stave are going to get uneven. What else about the leak? The grain, the joint, the nut, the bag
When
hole.
you have a leaking barrel, it's better to tighten it before you soak it, because sometimes just
yes.
by tightening up the hoops is not enough. You
Yeah,
have to
but
soak
first, if it's too loose, you tie the hook,
tighten it first and then soak
and
it up.
after, yes. Yes, if when you see the leaking spot and you clean it and you see it a crack, now you don't touch it. There is nothing to do.
It's cracked.
It's cracked, the piece needs to be changed. There is no way you can, if you try to do something, most of the time it gets worse.
Is that under warranty? The stave gets cracked?
Yeah, if it's a brand new barrel. But if it's not a new barrel anyway, we are not going to leave you with a bad barrel. We are going to do something for you, don't worry. Just call us and just call and we are going to find a way.
That's Radux, no? That's Radux.
Yes, and sometimes it's not Radu, I think it's the barrel. It's not the barrel, it's the barrel.
They're all the same.
No, yeah.
Yeah, we know
Most of the time I can't read the road books. It's leaking, I fix it up.
some barrels are more easy to leak than others, especially some brands.
That does seem to be the case. Some brands we know are going to leak more than other brands. I think sometimes it's the selection of the stable too, though. They're not as careful selecting the stable. You get more open pores.
Oh yes. Or if there is some kind of sapwood, if you have a little bit of sapwood on the edge, it doesn't leak when it's new, but a few months later,
Because it's so porous.
yeah, the wine goes from the sponge, and that's it.
Good.
I don't know. You tell me.
You going to take a head out?
Yes, we can take the head out. It's easier to do when it's empty.
Let's empty the barrel.
We blow heads out with nitrogen.
¿Pasemos esa o traerle una?
Yes, if you have an empty barrel somewhere, I can show you how to.
Yeah, these are.
It's full. These are full.
Yeah, full.
And it's